Do you know about the host? Do you know about Mark? You know the voice you'll hear at the top of the show say,
"Hey folks, this is Mark, your host of My Labor Radio. Thanks for joining us for this episode."
That was my dad. My name is Neely Gevaart. He hired me to do voiceovers for the show, so allow me to explain more about Mark and this show, My Labor Radio. This is a project that Mark has been doing since early 2016. Each episode is recorded, produced, written, directed, and edited by your host, Mark Gevaart. He is an outspoken activist for working families. He's a union leader with over 30 years' experience working and advocating for American union labor and working families. Mark brings his varied experiences to his podcast and community access radio show called My Labor Radio. The show can be found at mylaborradio.org or hear the shows on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts. The show's concept is simply doing interviews with working people about their working lives. He will also review news of the day, important political data and information essential to working families. Mark understands politics always play a role in the bigger picture of working people's lives. On his website, Mark quoted the words of labor leader Walter Reuther. There's a direct relationship between the ballot box and the bread box, and what the union fights for and wins at the bargaining table can be taken away in the legislative halls. Mark has always stated that union membership provides gains for the entire family. When unions thrive in a community, all will benefit. The presence of unions sets off a wage race to the top. The absence of unions sets off a wage race to the bottom.
Hey folks, it's Mark, your host on My Labor Radio. You can find us on multiple podcast platforms, and this show is now part of the laborradionetwork.org. You can discover more than just us by visiting their website. The Labor Radio Network will help you find your next new favorite union podcast or radio show. A simple network of folks from across the nation. Working people keep raising their voices more and more each day and demanding better treatment from their workplaces and their elected officials. As you know, these voices don't get heard very much on the corporate-controlled media. But the 21st century's labor movement has a new way to get its message out there, and working people don't rely on traditional media gatekeepers. It's now the internet, so you can turn off your TV to get the real news. So that gets us to that one-stop shop. Just visit laborradionetwork.org. On the main page, you'll see a grid of show logos. Just click one, and the description and links pop up right there. It's worth going to visit this ever-growing Voices of Labor resource. Join us at laborradionetwork.org.